Hey, we'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, iZotope, makers of software and plugins for audio repair, mixing, and mastering. We use iZotope products here at the High Gain. It's an important part of how we've been able to bottle pure podcast gold week after week. And guess what? iZotope offers 1 free month of Music Production Suite Pro, which has all the tools you need to mix, master, and repair audio. Also, you can get 10% off all other software using the promo code FRET10. That's FRET10. All of this is at iZotope.com, IZOTOPE.com.
Hey, this is Ed Peterson.
And this is John Kieltyka.
This is the High Gain Podcast.
It's totally high.
Yeah. What do we talk about, John?
Guitars.
Oh, that's cool. What kind?
All kinds.
The kind you strap on?
Sometimes the kind in your lap.
Oh, that's cool.
Lap steel, and that is not a euphemism.
No, we've never done that before.
No.
Where are we recording from?
Beautiful, West Seattle, Washington.
It's super sunny out.
It's a great day to be in a basement.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm going to do after we leave here? I'm going to go to downtown Seattle to the convention center.
Why?
And go to Emerald City Comic Con.
Comics.
That's what I'm going to do. Hey, do we have guests?
Two
guests. Do we have Graig Markel?
Yep,
Do we have Zera Marvel?
we sure do.
Oh, that's great. Where are they from, John?
Also from beautiful Seattle.
Okay. Where do they work?
They work at Recovery Effects.
Oh, man. Hi, guys.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, that's it. See, we're going.
Yeah.
They're totally into it. I can tell. Do you like that I'm going to comic books and then your name is Marvel?
Do you have a costume?
I'm wearing it. No, I don't really do that.
You're missing an opportunity.
In the past, my son and I went as Green Lanterns one year. Vicky May. What?
Nerd!
We have, my family and I have done the Comic-Cons, like Emerald City and then down into Portland and actually down to San Diego, like the big Comic-Con.
So I don't know anything about it, but do other people bring in comics? I mean, what do you do at a Comic-Con?
It's the entire convention center, so there's 70,000, 80,000 people there today, and you can buy comics. It becomes a pop culture thing, so there's all these actors, actresses, like Stranger Things, that whole cast is there. A bunch of the people from Game of Thrones are there. I tend to go and talk to writers and artists, and so since I've done it for so long, I end up just hanging out with, like, friends that are writers and artists.
That's kind of like NAMM for comics.
Yeah.
It is that. It is 100% that. Next year, we're going to NAMM.
It's a relaxing thing. You would think,
Is that true?
for me it is, yeah.
Did you work it this year? Did you have a booth or?
I just work it.
I can tell. Yeah. Just sitting here looking, I can tell.
A company our size, I think it makes sense to go, and I usually try to get stuff into other booths. Like we were in Abernathy this year.
Man.
That's really funny. Guess who we're talking to next week?
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it just allows me to talk to other people and
Yeah.
utilize my time that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, John.
What?
I'm getting really thirsty over here. Beverages.
Yeah.
Our beverages theme is a little wackadoodle today. Yeah.
You mean awesome?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
My wife went and got us beverages. She got us Americana drinks.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's vintage. I hope it's not actually vintage.
Oh, yeah.
I want this to be made within the last 6 months.
They want you to know something about their beverage, Ed.
Yeah, what do they want us to know?
It's a beverage from yesteryear.
Oh, great.
Well, mine doesn't say that.
Yeah, we have different ones.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you have Thomas
We have Thomas,
Kemper.
yeah.
I have the Thomas Kemper ginger ale.
I
Zera?
have black cherry made with pure Northwest honey.
Oh, man.
Ooh, Northwest
That's-
honey.
Oh, instead of sugar, maybe. That's cool.
I think there's a lot of sugar in
Yeah,
it
oh,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
no,
Come
cane
on.
sugar. Soda,
Love it.
You know, Ed,
What?
you know how we've been pairing the beverages with the pedals?
Oh, yes.
Today's going to be a hell of a day.
Oh, my God.
Because we've got all these various beverages.
Oh, my
And
God.
Graig and Zera have brought a sampling of the fine pedals they make. Listeners to this podcast will know that I'm nutty for this here Phantom Operator pedal.
Yes.
I use it whenever I can.
Yes.
So I'm just about wetting my pants looking at all these other pedals.
There is a crazy assortment.
What did you bring, Greg?
Well, you have the Phantom Operator, and that's going into the Pearl, which is our new fuzz, into the electric boost pedal, which just adds a little bit of a clean boost, maybe a little compression, a little grit. And then I have it going into the Game Changer Audio Plus pedal, which is great with the lap steel for a little bit of a cool kind of Eno texturization. Into the Chase Bliss Tonal Recall. And then polishing it all off with the Recovery Effects Endless Summer Real Spring Reverb.
Oh my God. What kind of lap steel is that, Greg?
That is a Rickenbacker Panda from back in the 40s when it was still spelled with a CH.
That guitar is so on theme with Ed Peterson with the black and white.
Yep.
Man, I love it so much.
Model B.
Okay.
B stands for
Uh-huh.
Bakelite.
Are there pickups in that thing?
It's a horseshoe pickup.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You know horseshoe magnets?
Oh, yeah.
The cartoon magnets?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's two of those in here. That's what this is.
Okay.
You want to know how this all started?
Zera,
Yeah.
do you want to know about this?
Absolutely.
Oh, Zera's into it.
We got some key players that we got to go with.
Okay.
George Beecham.
What's he up to?
He's not doing a whole lot.
What do you mean? Oh, God, we lost him? What happened?
He was deep sea fishing in California.
Is this true?
Like off the LA coast. Yeah, he had a heart attack.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What year was that?
How old was he?
That was 1941.
In modern day, somebody might be able to call with a cell phone, and
Yeah.
he might be able to get airlifted out.
They probably had the walkie-talkie thinger, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
10-4, good buddy.
Convoy.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Our man George was born in 1899. Died in 41.
41, and he was born in 99.
Yep.
Oh, 42.
Whoa.
Oy.
Yeah.
He needs to take care of himself. I bet he was a heavy smoker.
I don't know.
Well, maybe not.
He was a very talented cat, this George.
Okay.
He was a vaudeville performer. He played banjo. He played lap steels. He played
Stuff.
guitar. Yeah. One of his problems,
Okay.
shit, these guitars aren't loud enough in the vaudeville.
Okay.
I need a louder guitar. God damn it.
He died before solid bodies were even a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fender Telecaster 51, 52?
52.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I don't know any of this stuff, and sometimes I impress myself when I can remember anything. Because half the time I'm just spaced.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
just
hey.
sitting over here, like, barely paying
Yeah,
attention.
remember when we talked about that thing?
No. Not even a little bit I remember, no. Yeah.
So he was looking for a way to make guitars louder, and he's in LA bumming out because his guitar's not loud.
Sure.
So he's like, I gotta find somebody to help me make my guitar loud.
Right.
He finds this cat named John Dopiera.
Oh, what's our guy Johnny up to? Oh, God.
He's pretty dead.
Fishing boat related?
I don't know what happened to him.
He was driving the ambulance.
Exactly.
Yeah, could have been. Crashed.
Yeah. Great.
He had like
Okay.
10 siblings.
John did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they used to do in the old days.
Yeah.
He was Slovakian. Comes to America with his 10 brothers, and
Okay.
they start a business. They're repairing violins. They're doing all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Our man George finds him. Looks like you're involved with musical instruments. I got an idea.
Yeah.
Could you make me a louder guitar?
Right.
John's like, yeah, I could try. What do you have in mind? The Victrolas, the record players at the time, how were they amplified? There's a little disc of mica. The needle touched the mica.
Yeah.
It's similar to like paper in a kazoo.
Okay.
So he brought that idea to John. John said, yeah, I'll see if I can work something up. He tries like cardboard, paper, he tries plastic, he tries all this shit. But he
Yep.
settles on aluminum.
Aluminium.
As the fancy people say.
Right. See, this is how I contribute.
Yeah.
John looks up shit, and then I just like aluminium.
What do you know about aluminium, Zera?
Do you know the atomic weight of aluminium?
I do not.
Oh, do you?
Is it like 32?
I have no idea.
What about the abbreviation for it?
AL, isn't it?
Is it AL or AE? See, and then we leave this shit in. John specifically cuts out all the stuff I get right.
I can't imagine all the comments you guys get.
It's so terrible. Yeah, we are very light on facts.
Yeah,
very light.
We enjoy
I don't
being-
think facts are important at all these days.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, I think if you just have a couple facts that are
Right.
wrong, then the trolls are just gonna come in and
Right.
just pinpoint. But if you just layer this podcast with fucking bullshit,
Yes, that is it.
nobody
And
can
it's-
keep up.
This is aluminum.
he settles on aluminum and he starts spinning these aluminum discs. They're like kind of like conical disky things.
What the fuck are you even
I
talking
am
about
glad
right
you
now?
asked.
I'm talking about guitars.
Are we?
Yeah.
You're
He puts these things in a guitar, and the dobro is born. It's all going to come together
Okay.
in a hysterical way.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be
Oh.
whimsical.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
So George hears this,
Yeah.
and he's like, wow, that sounds really great, Dopey.
Okay.
We should start a company.
Okay.
Where we're going to get the money?
Right.
George says, I got a cousin. He's a douchebag,
Okay.
but he's super rich
Okay.
because he inherited all this money.
Oh,
He's drunk most of the time, but he's got tons of dough.
I like this guy a lot.
Let's set up a party
Okay.
at his house.
Right.
And everybody could be drinking and shit.
Yeah.
And we'll get a band, and we'll put this guitar you invented in the hands of the band
Uh-oh.
to impress my cousin.
Okay.
It worked.
Great.
His drunk cousin's like, shit, I want in on this company.
Oh.
What are you going to call it? National Guitars.
Okay.
So they take dude's money, and they do it.
Okay.
Great. Now we got
Mm-hmm.
to ramp up production. What are we going to do? Who's around?
Yeah.
Adolf Rickenbacker's down the street.
Adolf. Yeah. It's a very unfortunate name.
Yeah.
In 29,
Yep.
our man Dopey,
Yeah.
he doesn't like the way it's going. And he's got a big ego, and he's pissed off and whatever.
Yeah.
I quit, fuck you.
What year's that?
29.
Okay.
So he goes and he starts his own company called Dobro.
Yes. Okay.
Except it's the Depression,
Yeah.
and our man George
Yeah.
is having none of it.
George.
Beecham, who's still at National with his drunk rich cousin,
Yes.
he's going around to anybody that might buy these
Yeah.
things and saying, hey, you know those Dobros? Fuck them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
suck. All
Right.
the ideas were mine. Don't
Right.
buy from them.
Okay.
So Dobro sues him.
Sues him for bad mouthing him.
Yeah. National? George?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I sue you back for stealing my shit.
Okay.
Ended up settling out of court.
Yeah.
The Depression's in full swing.
Yep.
And that takes a hit on drunk cousin Ted.
Okay.
That was his name, by the way.
Did we lose him?
Did we lose Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died of being an alcoholic.
Okay.
Surprise,
That'll do
surprise.
it.
Died penniless.
Sayonara, Ted.
So, in the wake of all this, George and cousin Ted are like, we're getting sued by Dopey and all this
Right.
shit. Let's just make our own goddamn company.
Okay.
We'll call it Ropatin.
That's a terrible one. Those guys are terrible at naming.
They named Rickenbacker the president. Isn't that nice?
What year is this?
31.
1931.
And they start making these things.
Yeah.
Lap steels.
Oh, we're there. We got there.
Yeah. The first one was called the frying pan. Have you ever seen it?
It looks kind of like a banjo, but like on your lap. Is that right?
Yep. For some reason, Rickenbacker himself, Adolf, called
Yeah.
it the pancake. I don't know why.
Okay.
And they worked out pretty well, so they offered them commercially in 32.
Okay.
How much do you think the frying pan went for in 32?
1932.
Yeah.
The frying pan went for $96.
I'm gonna say $25.
Oh.
50.
Right in the
50.
middle. Right in the middle.
Zera with the 50. She's the closest.
Yeah.
It's $175.
No, I was at like 98.
Yeah.
But here's
yeah.
the deal. You
Well-
get an amp with it. It's
Well, still.
it's a lap steel amp combo.
I'm
$175. I thought that was strange too. Middle of the Depression.
Yeah.
In today dollars?
Right.
That's $3,400.
the price on instruments in that kind of like 20 to 50s era, even into the first Fender stuff, they were expensive. Like in today dollars, the cheapest Fender is like $2,500 or something.
Partially that's because of they're not being mass produced.
Yeah, even a lot of the harmonies, John, watch this.
Go.
In 30 years, Harmony made 10 million instruments.
Out of a response to the rock and roll
Yeah.
movement. But
Yep.
but these guys are like selling guitars in the 30s and 40s
Right.
for, how many people were buying these things back then? They're
Yeah. It's funny when you look at like the scale of that price, and like a lot of these things are called like student instruments.
Yeah.
And like, man, you're buying your kid a $3,000 guitar or whatever.
Yeah, and then contrast that to people that want to get into guitar these days. You can go down to Guitar Center and buy a $200 Mexican
Strat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like exactly.
and,
some Squire.
little amp. That's
Yep. My first guitar was actually a Squire. I mean, I learned guitar on it. Like it did its job.
When I was a kid, a $200 Les Paul was basically unplayable. Like, it was like it was a Bentley or a Cort or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
With the strings like half an inch off of the fretboard and stuff.
Yep. It was terrible, but
But
I figured it out.
You really have to be committed then to learning it. 'Cause
Yeah, but I mean, like a Mexican Telecaster is playable like these days out of the
Oh,
shop,
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Right, yeah. The quality of the imports has increased dramatically. I don't know. I think John and I are snooty and like we probably don't have a lot of imported instruments here at the High Gain Central.
Well, unless you count Sweden.
Yeah. No thanks. Hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard
I was
pass
looking
on
at
the
that
Swedes.
Hagstrom. That's a really cool looking guitar over there.
Yeah.
The baby blue.
Don't encourage him.
Hey, you know how many guitars they sold that first year in 32?
1932.
Depression,
Depression. Let's say 1,000.
10.
17.
It's
I
pretty
did say
good.
20 at first.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did. There might be some highest without going over rule, and you'd still lose. So
But, the lap steel stuff was popular back then because the Hawaiian steel craze. People
Sure.
love that kind of music. But what's happening out in the rural areas where people are playing guitar and stuff? Mm-hmm. Not many of them in 1932 even had electricity.
oh,
Where
right,
are you going to
sure.
plug this thing
Good
in?
point.
Sure.
Why am I
yeah.
going to buy that? I don't even have electricity.
Yeah. Greg's got a bunch of pedals in front of him here.
Greg, tell us about the Pearl Fuzz. That's a new one, right?
That's the newest one. I didn't know how it would sound on the lap steel, but it seems to be pretty cool. It's a fuzz that runs on the BC109, two BC109 transistors, and it really shines with bass.
How did you learn pedal building? Did you go to school for this, or?
Just kind of through osmosis of just being a poor musician and starting to fix my own stuff and
Yeah.
starting to kind of realize I had a little bit of a knack for it. And it was maybe like about 10 years ago, I had this DoD 250 that just kind of finally bit the dust, and I didn't really realize how collectible the originals were, and and just seeing how much they went for on eBay, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna build one of these things, and I built a few of them, and then I just started listing them on eBay, and that's kind of how I started doing it, and then started listing them on my site, and
That is the dream for me. Like that American dream of like, oh, I just start doing this thing. I start building this thing. And then all of a sudden you have kind of a company and you're doing what you like. I'm not really good at anything, Greg. So
I find it really relaxing. Schematics, and even though that's not my background or forte really at all, I'm just a guitar player.
you're also a recording engineer too, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's
you've
one
got
of the
a studio.
same things. I don't have the money to go to a studio and do my own stuff, so I need to figure out how to do it on my own, and that's kind of
Right.
where it came from.
Totally. Throw that pearl on, John.
Okay, Pearl Fuzz, here we go. Oh, that sounds really good.
That's so great.
I'm going to turn some knobs on this thing.
I think that album came out in 1972. Smoke on the Water.
Hey, Ed, do you know what
Yeah.
one of the knobs is called?
Volume.
Destroy.
That's my favorite.
I'm in love with that pedal already.
Yep.
Viewers to our podcast know that I'm nutty for fuzz.
Viewers
Yep.
to the podcast will learn that this is the first time that it's been played with lap steel.
We broke new ground here.
Yeah, I love it. You heard it here first. What next, do you think?
I have the electric. This is a clean boost compression kind of thing. This is what it is like, clean, and then
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's doing a little bit more than boost, and the gain's up a little bit,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
a little dirty, but... And then this would be a good time just to kind of show, because we don't have any sauce on it yet, to kind of see what the plus pedal does. But so and there's a couple different modes on it.
Oh, so now it's just it's latched.
You can do a press and hold or leave it off,
Right.
but it's just a switch to go back and forth. There's that, and then we have the Chase Bliss tonal recall.
It's tonal.
Tonal recall.
Yeah.
So, a little modulation on there
Yep.
and stuff too. And then we have our very own Endless Summer, which is a real spring reverb inside of a pedal. The pedal's kind of big. It's one of those 6500 case sizes, but it's basically to...
So it can accommodate.
Remember those
accommodate
old
that.
amps, Ed, that had the spring tanks
Oh,
in them?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when you move the amp
Yep.
too much?
Yeah.
That's so great.
Isn't that wild?
That's so great.
It's pretty amazing though. You can move a lot on stage without that thing going off. It takes a kind of a lot of movement. So
John did just pick
You
it up
totally
and drop
kicked
it.
it.
but that's usually the
I
big
think you
concern
have
with
to
them.
buy it now.
Yeah, I hope I didn't break it. I don't.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so great.
Great.
So, how much of that has to do with the kind of music you write and record? Like, I've got these sounds in my head that I like to play. I should make a pedal that does that. Or is it something else?
It seems like the things that do really well are the things that there's a real need for or use for, and so I'm not just trying to put together like a distortion pedal just because. Just usually looking for something that I want to use myself. Nobody's really doing a sample and hold pedal right now like the Phantom Operator, and that's kind of the stuff I want to hear, or a spring reverb. Why is there no real spring reverb, for Christ's sakes?
And that sounded so good. Like when it was just the electric and the reverb tank, which is the Endless Summer, that combo was killer.
Yeah.
Like that is so good. There's a gazillion digital reverbs that do spring, but not like that.
Just a one-trick pony kind of thing. It does what it does, and that's it.
I also have to say, your Instagram feed and even your Facebook and everything is like, your pictures are so good.
That's all my fault.
Yeah, no, I'm super into that aesthetic, like the super
That
clean.
makes me happy to hear
like-
because a lot of pedal companies, they just put pictures out there and they're kind of not caring about aesthetics. And I
No,
thought mine were going to be a little too pretty, a little too many plants, a little
Yeah.
too many cats.
No such thing as too many cats.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Like, it's great. And it's got a look and feel. I'm into it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so
it's
don't-
great.
Yeah.
It's an awesome thing to have her do that. Gear advertisements and gear aesthetics are usually like pretty bad. So I think if you can dial that in, it's so important.
Yeah.
There was a photo we saw, and then like we started down the rabbit hole of like, oh, now we're on the YouTube videos, and now we're like,
I saw the video for the Phantom Operator, and I was like, oh, crap, must have.
yeah, yeah,
What you play is like kind of what you wear. I mean, you want it to look cool on your board, and
Yep.
you want to like
And I wanted all of our stuff to kind of incorporate who we are because that's what it comes down to, whether people are going to support your small business.
totally.
Street Smart and Dirty?
That's Dead Ship Sailing, so that's the two of us together. We would spend one night in the studio and write and record a song from start to finish. We would release the song the next day on Facebook, whether it was good or not.
I
Wow.
am so into art by constraint, like putting a shit ton of rules
Yes.
on your art, and then like you have to work within this box
Yes.
that
Yep.
you set.
some of the rules were the riff had to be written that night, the lyrics had to be written that night, no bass allowed,
Great.
one keyboard track.
Street Smart and Dirty, Ed.
Let's go.
All right. Yeah. What do you think of that, Ed?
I'm super into it.
Nice.
Let's get started now. You're so low down, so fucking beautiful for a low life. We're on a roll now. Give me the low down. Got the know-how. Street smart and dirty. Oh, let go.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Can't stop. Oh, let go. You're on a roll. You can't stay. Let's take a break now. The city's got you.
What do you think of that, Ed?
I love it.
Now, they're making the instruments out
Yeah.
of Bakelite.
Okay.
Ed, you probably know this is going to bore you, but it's polyoxybenzyl methylene glycol anhydride.
Yeah. AKA
Yeah.
Bakelite.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was invented by Leo Bakeland.
What?
That was Leo Bakeland. He's
Oh, no.
he's kind of gone. Yeah, I think he went out for a pack of smokes.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
so-
In like,
a 44.
oh,
Yeah, for something that's so popular,
the lap steel?
Bakelite, it kind of freaks me out because it's a reaction between phenol, also known as carbolic acid, and fucking formaldehyde.
What?
Okay.
Is there a reason why it's not in production anymore? Like, is it
Super
Is it,
toxic, like maybe they just take the byproduct of it and dump it into a river, and
Yeah.
everybody wins.
Our man Leo Bakelite,
Yeah.
he kind of went nutty.
Oh.
So he ended up obsessed over tropical gardening, and he would only eat his meals from cans.
That's weird.
that's
Sure.
part of it right there. Back
Sure.
then, there's probably a bunch of lead in that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
sounds
Maybe
like-
some mercury. Maybe he was like practicing some mercury bacon.
The Merc Bake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me some more stuff, John.
Okay, so the Bakelite's going pretty well. If you're not going nuts from it.
Yeah.
How about this?
Okay.
1940, our man George
Yeah, George.
retires.
40, and he dies in 41?
Yeah, not so.
1 year late. Like, these guys, they retire, and then they're just dead in
Yeah.
6 months.
Uh-huh.
Come
Because
on.
they're drinking themselves. to
Yeah,
death.
yeah, like this guy. This guy's out there, like, overexerting himself on a
the
boat?
fishing boat,
Fishing?
yeah.
Like,
Fishing.
what's this guy's
Smoking
deal?
and drinking on
Yeah,
a boat.
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know what he's doing.
Yep, yep, okay.
But, there must have been a lot of stress involved in the business.
Right, sure.
Maybe that has something to do with
Sure,
it,
who
because
knows?
it's not long after that, our man Adolf, he sells Rickenbacker to FC Hall, who
Okay.
would then go on to take it into the modern era.
I have a good story about how I got a hold of that.
Yeah.
My friend from Yakima,
Yakima. It's the Palm Springs. It's like a big sign.
Yeah.
Palm Springs of Washington.
I did not know that.
Oh, it's lovely.
Well, I do
Lovely
now.
Yakima.
I had a cheap modern-made guy that was my first lap steel, and then I still have. It's like a 1940s Gibson lap steel. Is pretty cool. I've always loved playing them, and he was at a garage sale and ran into this thing. It was kind of a garage sale, estate sale thing, and he saw that there and called me up and wanted to know if I wanted it. It was $100, and I was like, yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's killer.
The pickup on that thing, it's the loudest guitar I've ever heard.
What's the output on that, Greg?
I don't know.
1972 Fender Telecaster Deluxe.
That's kind of a dream guitar.
Ed, did
That-
you hear what he called that guitar?
Garbage.
Yeah. Ed does not like it
Why?
Yeah.
because he's
I
dumb.
have this, because it's a Telecaster with humbuckers in it, right? And it's like 1972, everything was going metal. Oh, Gibson's doing good. Now we've got to make a Gibson. So they just made a Les Paul. They put the pickup selector in the Les Paul spot. They made a Les Paul.
One of the things I think is so cool, the combination of the humbucker and the finished maple neck, they just sound totally different than a Telecaster.
100%, yeah.
I wanted one for a super long time.
I was totally on Team Greg for about an hour and a half here. And then you went right at the end, Greg. You
Right at the
fucked
end.
everything up. You were totally cool. And then, shit. Come on.
You said you wanted to hear some Zera?
Yeah, lay it on me.
This is called Bad Luck by Dead Ship Sailing, Ed.
This makes sense, though, because then we play some of this stuff because tons of guitar effects. And
This is great, isn't it? Yeah.
That's got some bass in it. Oh, is it really?
Is that
Yeah.
pedal? Wow.
Wow.
Maybe somebody
great.
needs that pedal,
Yeah,
Ed.
that's great.
Wow. Hey, you want to hear what people do with lap steel guitars, Ed?
Okay, lay something on me.
Okay. Larkin Poe.
No.
that's a cool sounding guitar.
Yeah.
Three Sisters.
I'm into this. This is great.
Lord, what did I see? Rage in the mirror looking back at me. I chained my dreams in my backyard. The birds won't sing, coming up, gave me peace of mind. Oh Lord, what do I do? Forgot how to lie, how to tell the truth. I'm in the crosshairs.
What do you think, Ed?
It very rarely happens that you play something and then I have to go to my phone and immediately add them to my playlist.
Larkin
And so,
Poe?
like, they are on it.
The sister that plays the lap steel, her name is Megan. Exact same lap steel. Model B, black and white Rick.
Great.
Have you guys heard of Sacred Steel? Sacred Steel is a kind of sub-genre of gospel.
Oh,
Religious music that features slide guitar. I think the hottest lap steel stuff happening, in my opinion, is the Sacred Steel.
I want to hear it now.
The Lee Boys is called Say Yes.
That's right.
got some wah. Right?
You feel
Yeah.
like going to church, Ed?
Yes. Always.
That's so cool.
That's great. Great.
And who is that?
The Lee Boys, L-E-E.
You're going
check
to add
that
that
out
to your
Yeah,
playlist?
I might actually
Yeah.
go to church if.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's one.
Okay.
Pete Drake, who's a Nashville cat,
Okay.
played on all kinds of stuff. He played on
Yeah.
like Bob Dylan stuff and
Sure.
George Harrison's All Things Must Pass.
Oh,
What happens if you put a lap steel through a vocoder?
I'm ready.
Here's some Pete Drake country style.
Whoa.
How many times have you heard someone say
Whoa. That's crazy.
Isn't it?
that it's so hard to find?
What year is this?
68.
music was so much cooler back in the past.
As the story goes, he gets a phone call and his manager's like, "Hey man, George Harrison's on the phone for you." He's like, "All right, cool. What company's he with?"
Right.
It's like, "No, it's George Harrison. The Beatles." Oh.
No.
One more and then you want a hot seat, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
We're going hot seat.
Okay, here we go.
Come on, Ed.
I'm not.
Greg looks like he knows it.
Does Greg know it? I don't think he does. Ooh.
Come on, Ed.
Well, it sounds like the Stones.
It is the Stones.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Ventilator Blues off Exile on Main Street.
Doing this is like so stressful because like if you don't get a hot seat like that,
Yeah.
you got to be like, dude, we got to rewind, man. You
No. No. In fact, he edits out when I do get them. He edits out me getting them, and he only
Not always.
Ed didn't get the Clash. Like he puts that in, but then All right, John.
That's pretty good. Where are people going to find these pedals?
People are going to find them at our website,
RecoveryFX.com.
recoveryeffects.com, or if you're in Seattle.
That's where I want you to go because I've spent a lot of time building that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
recoveryeffects.com. And if you go there and you want to try some stuff out, you can always look at our dealer list and see who's carrying them in your
Or a
area.
sound parcel. You can actually kind of do a little trial to buy.
Yeah, or Pedal Genie now, too.
And also Instagram. And that links through to your store as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Go there because your photo game is on point.
Yeah.
On point photo game.
Yep.
All our viewers need these pedals.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, that was really fun.
That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun, John.
Having Zera and Greg here.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for having us.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
better than just kind of talking to you and you making fun of me and stuff.
I know. So are you guys going to be back like in a week or so? You just keep coming back.
I think we should, yeah.
Have beverages and.
I like West Seattle. That was the first time I got to go through that tunnel, too.
Oh, you did the tunnel?
I did not like the tunnel.
No, I'm not into it. I haven't done it yet either, and I'm
Don't.
super not into it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. no.
Why? Just because there's a tunnel?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I wasn't really into the whole viaduct thing and being up high, and I'm also not into being down low.
No.
Street level, baby.
Street level.